Welcome back to the podcast. You know, the podcast with me, and then this dude here. Who's this dude?
Me. I'm here. I'm this dude. Here I am.
I think this is episode 17. I say that every time. I need to make a post-it in front of the monitors. It just has a number I can look at. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this is number 17. And it's been about 2 weeks.
Almost.
No, I don't think it's been 3 weeks.
Maybe. I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter. Anyway, so what's up with you, man? How you been?
All right. I've actually done more shit to talk about this since last time. So
Yeah.
beyond that, though, generally the same.
Yeah, same shit with your work. We talk about that. Work is almost universally going to be the same for the two of us.
Yeah.
Library life does not change very often, and if something did change, I'm sure I would mention it. And let's face it, I don't think Zach's ever going to be happy. So let's just let's just admit that work is work. Yeah, you guys were looking to move.
Ultimate goal is to get out
know,
of this town, but gotta have like a job kind of locked down.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are plenty of librarian jobs up this way. I'm just saying, you know, cough, cough, wink, wink, drive, drive, job, move, you know, that kind of thing. But anyway, you said you've done some stuff. What'd you do?
I mean, if we're just jumping on into it, as far as what we're playing, what we're watching, all that shit.
Let's just jump into some shit. I honestly, I didn't really prep that much for this podcast, but I figured if we don't record now, there's a good chance we're not going to until like next week.
Yeah, because I'm busy tomorrow and later this day, so.
Yeah, can't really keep putting it off. But I mean, I have enough stuff like backlogged in my head that hopefully we can talk about. And, you know, we do have to talk about the movie we watched, which, to remind people, Zach picked The Limey.
The Limey.
What was our
classic?
What was our direct connection to The Limey? I don't remember, because we watched
Boiler Room.
Oh, we watched Boiler Room, and the Nicky Cat, who in The Limey, I swear to God, I can't wait to talk about this because it's just one of the funniest movie deaths I've ever seen, and it was unintentional. But anyway, spoiler, Nicky Cat dies in The Limey.
Yeah,
but,
what? You never seen The Limey? Fuck you.
All right. Anyway, so that was the movie we watched, and let's just get into the thick of it. Talk about all the shit we've been doing. What have you been up to, man?
I've been playing stuff as opposed to last time. Last time I don't think
with your dick.
I don't think I had played any like games or anything. For our last one, I don't think we talked about a single video game, and it was all movies.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really played that much since I went through Control. Like, I beat Ace Combat. I mentioned that. I have fucking Animal Crossing coming out soon. Yeah. I am so fucking excited.
I'm excited for that, but I'm also worried that I'm not going to put forth the time that Animal Crossing kind of wants from you, and there's just so much.
No. Okay, stop right there. Have you played Animal Crossing before?
Yeah, dude, I've played every Animal Crossing.
Then you should know this as well as I do. Animal Crossing demands nothing from you. It wants you to have a fun time, just chilling.
Josh, you have to play it every day. Island. You have to. There are weeds get in your town. You can't have that. Bugs get in your house. You have to play it.
It's not about that. It's about fishing.
That's the way I played it.
It's about fossils. It's about bug collecting. And dude, oh my God. So fuck whatever else you did. Let's talk about Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
Did you watch the Nintendo Direct thing they put out?
I've seen bits and pieces of it, and I've seen some of the memes that come off of it.
Oh my God. Dude, first of all, okay, if we're going to have a podcast, I need you to start keeping up on shit, because I feel like I'm talking about everything. Like, dude, the Nintendo Direct was so good, because I'm watching, I'm like, okay, so this is Animal Crossing. You're on an island this time. All right. Tom Nook's going to gouge you for money for the first 40 hours of the game. Cool. Okay, that's a little different. So you can travel to like randomized islands and find stuff. That's kind of cool. Oh, so you can scan amiibos from Animal Crossing.
I still have mine.
And
I have a handful of them.
Yeah, so you can scan them, and then those villagers can go into your game, except Isabelle. I don't know what Isabelle does directly. Oh, you can scan the Animal Crossing cards, and then those villagers can go into your game. That's pretty cool. Oh, you can transform the land now? What? Did you see that?
I did see that. You can terraform.
That's so fucking cool. Like,
There'd be so much to do.
I tried Mari. You said you haven't played Animal Crossing, right?
Nope.
Yeah. So Mari's never played Animal Crossing, and you'll understand this also, and anyone else that ever hears this bullshit and has played Animal Crossing will understand. It's very difficult to describe why you love Animal Crossing because it is not as much a game as it is a simulation.
It is a fun simulation.
Debt.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's as fun as it makes debt as fun as debt can be. But it's hard to describe why you love the game so much. And the way I describe it to people, it's like it's like Guitar Hero and Rock Band. They're just stress relieving games. You know, if I don't want to focus that much on something, I can hop on it and, you know, organize my rooms. It seems like you have a ton of space in this game.
Yeah.
Like I'm so excited. I didn't know if you could do this in other games because I haven't really played it recently, but you can move where other villagers live now, which is kind of cool. I just want to collect fossils and fish and bugs.
I mean,
that's all I really ever
That's what I did in the first one. The first one that they put out for GameCube. I played the first Animal Crossing on GameCube every day for a solid year.
Yes.
I went deep on that game. The next one I actually put a whole lot of time into was probably the one on DS. Did you ever play the DS one?
Was that Wild World or something?
It may have been New Leaf. It could have been Wild World. There was a 3DS one, but then there was also a DS one, I think.
I think the 3DS one was the one that I played the most after the GameCube.
Maybe it is a 3DS. Shit, I can't remember which one. They do tend to run together a little bit, to be fair.
I didn't play Happy Home Designer.
Oh, I didn't play that one either. I don't count that. That doesn't count.
Whatever.
It's a spin-off.
Whatever.
But, like, I played that one a shit ton, so much so that there was, like, an Animal Crossing New Leaf. Let's just call it New Leaf, because we can't remember which one it is I played. But there was a forum and everything where you could, like, if you were looking for particular items, people would, like, you know, it was usually the people with an action replay. You can, like, order items from them and shit like that, and they just come and drop it off. And, like, I spent so much fucking... Dude, I had, like, a secret room in my house that you had to move, like, a bookshelf, and in the back it was, like, a evil scientist lab and shit. I got deep into that fucking game.
I had a secret room that led into where I kept everything that I considered a quote museum piece. So like suits of samurai armor, swords, Greek busts, they were all lined up like you could walk through. I had little signs detailing what they were. Like, I fucking can't wait for Animal Crossing.
Oh, dude, my main room was a library. Like, put up the library wallpaper, I did like the fucking the busts and like the samurai armor and shit like that. Yeah, like my main room was a big old library. It was really cool.
I'm so excited. We actually we pre-ordered the Animal Crossing Switch that's coming out because
cool. I kind of wanted to get that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, Mari has probably played the Switch more than I have at this point, and I figured it would be neat if we both had our own, so that way we could play stuff. Like, I get that Nintendo wants people to play the Switch by taking the Joy-Cons and holding it sideways and do that. Fuck that.
Bro.
Have you seen the size of my hands? Dude, I eat food the size of Joy-Cons. Like,
what?
It's just not
You
happening.
guys don't want to go onto the roof of your New York style apartment and like wear your colorful socks and just like play?
We don't want to be New York
You don't want to
hipsters
be New
drinking
York
our
hipsters?
Starbucks while everybody gathers around and plays Mario Party on top of the apartment that we clearly rented out from
On a tiny little screen.
What's the website where you can rent people's houses? Like,
An Airbnb.
Yeah, we Airbnb the shit out of that house for that commercial because there's no way that those kids could afford that in New York.
Fucking, don't you kids have jobs?
You know what they did?
Go out there, commute.
You know what they... I bet they filmed that shit in Milwaukee to save money and green screen New York into the windows.
I thought about... I wanted to get Misty a Switch because she had shown some interest, though I don't know when she thinks she's gonna fucking have time to play anything. But I thought about getting her a Switch Lite since she wouldn't play it docked very much. But I don't know. I haven't.
We thought about getting Junin a Switch Lite because that boy plays his Switch so. he has so many hours on Fortnite on the Switch. Like, he goes through Joy-Cons like water, and they get drift, like they get off centered really easily. So his first Switch he had was the launch model. We got him one of those at launch. That was like his Christmas birthday gift
that's
that
the
year.
one I'm still using.
And it lasted almost 2 years, and it got to the point where like his kickstand was gone. It was starting to bend in the middle a little bit, and it was like, fuck. So I was gonna get him a light, and I was like, but if the Joy-Cons get drift again, there's no way to fucking fix it other than sending it to Nintendo. So we just got him a used one that was in really good condition. That's what he's using. But our launch model's still fine.
My launch model, which is the only one I have, the kickstand is kind of like floppy. It's been floppy almost near the beginning. Like, since I had it, I've since put just a piece of tape on there.
They sell replacements. Like, I think Nyko makes a third-party one that just pops in. But anyway, we got the Animal Crossing one because, let's face it, the only other custom Switch I would want is a Phoenix Wright one, and that's never going to happen. So I'm going to be lucky if I get one more Phoenix Wright in my lifetime. But regardless, we can move on from Animal Crossing for now. Anyway, we were talking about what you have done. You said you played some games.
I have played like 3 specifically since Control. First time I've actually felt like playing anything since Control. So
yeah, Jonathan's playing Control right now.
The game is so good. But I got the Yakuza collection, which is the remaster of 3, 4, and 5. 5.
I need to buy that. I had it pre-ordered, and then we were getting. That launched at the same time that what is it? Fucking Vanquish and Bayonetta, that remastered bundle came out.
I want to get that, but I only want it for Vanquish. I don't need Bayonetta. I've bought that would be a third time I've bought Bayonetta. I don't need to buy a Bayonetta again.
I had both of them pre-ordered, and I had to cancel it because we were getting to the point with money, or like all that we had saved. It was like the plane was landing. We had nowhere else to go at that point. And then luckily, Mari got her new job. So once things are more stable, I really do want to pick up the Yakuza collection because I've been collecting all of them physically anyway.
I have too. So, it's really good. Instead of being so you know how Kiwami 1 and 2 were from the ground up remakes and everything.
I think so. I'm still very new to the Yakuza series.
Yakuza 1 and 2 were PS2 games. So
I know that some of them were PS2
Kiwami
games.
1 and 2 were completely like they remade those games. They didn't just slap new paint on it and call it a day. But Yakuza 3 is, I think it's more or less a fresh coat of paint on it, but it's still fundamentally the same game as far as I know. But I've been playing it. It is another Yakuza, which is what I'm here for. You get to see Kiryu. This is the one where he starts the orphanage.
Okay. Now keep in mind, I have not played the later games.
Oh, okay.
I don't know a ton of I know something about orphans.
Yeah,
but I mean,
he and his like brother, or not quite in blood, but childhood friend. Nishiki was I might be saying that wrong, but they were orphans, and then they got adopted by the Yakuza man, so they kind of rose up through the Yakuza ranks.
Yeah, I know from Zero, basically.
But later he
which is the only one I've really played.
Well, in the first game, he ends up with kind of like an adopted daughter kind of situation, and and in 3 he starts up an orphanage since like he grew up in an orphanage. So for the first like 4 hours or so of Yakuza 3, it is best dad Kiryu. He's got them kids. He is raising them right. He's wearing a Hawaiian shirt. They live on a beach. Dad Kiryu is the best dad.
So the first game you want to play is 0.
Right. Yeah, that's the absolute best place to start.
And then it's Yakuza 1. Mm-hmm. And then, is there a Yakuza 2?
Yeah.
Or does it just go right to 3? Okay, because you went straight to 3. So what's Yakuza 2?
Kiwami 2. Weirdly enough, Yakuza 2...
Why is it called Kiwami?
That it's extreme.
Okay, so then it's Yakuza 0,
yeah.
Yakuza 1, Yakuza Kiwami 2, Yakuza 3?
No,
or...
I mean, if you're playing it for this generation of consoles, you want 0, then Yakuza Kiwami than Yakuza 2 Kiwami, or Kiwami 2, whatever, because those
Okay,
are the
it's just Yakuza
remakes of
Kiwami,
1 and 2, are the Kiwami games.
Okay, and then it's Yakuza Kiwami 3?
Nope, just 3, or remastered if you want.
I swear to Christ.
Well, they had to heavy remake the first 2 games because they were on the PS2 and probably janky as fuck. But 3, they really...
I get the idea.
Yeah, 3, all they really had to do was remaster the graphics a bit. And presumably for the same for 4 and 5. We actually never got 5 here in the States before.
Isn't that coming out, though?
5 is a part of the collection. The collection is 3, 4, and 5. And then, of course, 6 has been out for,
6 is the one that came with the nice whiskey tumblers, right?
Song of Life. And the
and that's the last one in Kiryu's
Yeah, that is
story,
the last
right?
of... That finishes off Kiryu's story completely.
And then the next one is going to be the weird hybrid role-playing game.
Yes, I'm so excited for that. Holy shit.
Yeah, I've only ever played 0, and I only picked up 0 because like you guys in the chat would talk about it so fucking much.
I love 0.
And I got it for like
Such
I think $20 or something. And I was playing, I'm like, okay, this is fascinating enough. Like I get it. And then it introduced Majima.
My man.
And I'm like, done. This is the best fucking thing I've ever played in my life. Like that scene with him in 0 where he's explaining like being a manager and all that stuff, and he beats the crap out of the guy. I'm like, this man is my retail spirit animal. Like,
wait till you see if you ever beat 0, let me know, because we got to talk about it, because Majima in the rest of the games, 1
is completely different.
He is
right?
There's a reason for that, but yeah, he is the fucking mad dog.
I have like 30 hours on the game.
He is like he's known as like the fucking, what is his Yakuza crime like family called? He's the mad dog of whatever his family. He's just known as the mad dog of blank, because I can't remember his crime family.
Mad Dog of Shimano.
Yeah, that's the one. Because he often is breakdance fighting / has a knife or baseball bat. He is fucking wild.
It's good shit. I need to finish 0. I like played that one. Yeah, and then like you've seen my Yakuza, the pins I ordered, right?
I know, I'm so jealous. I want
where
them.
The shirts flip open. I love them so much.
I fucking love the Yakuza games. They are often very much, one is a lot, very much the same as the other, but they're always entertaining.
I need a Switch port of Yakuza that lets me use the motion controls to swing weapons.
But yeah.
So anyway, what else have you been playing other than the remasters?
In preparation for Doom Eternal, which comes out the same day as Animal Crossing, and boy, the fan art has been great for that.
Yep, that and Isabel.
Yep. I replayed Doom 2016.
I never finished it. I bought it for PC for like $2, and I started it up, and I was like, "This is fucking awesome. I'm totally gonna beat." And then I never played it again.
Oh man, it's where you can pick up the Slayer edition, which has like 2016 and all the old ones for like $20 right now on Amazon.
Junin just recently beat the original Doom.
Oh,
on Switch.
Nice.
Yeah.
2016 is still an amazing game. I went through it a second time, this time with all the weapon unlocks and everything. So that was real entertaining. I did some, finished up some old challenges that I never finished up, got some weapon upgrades. So I had a really good time. That game is still awesome. Okay, I cannot wait till Doom Eternal. Can't wait.
Eternal looks cool. I don't know. I might wait till it's been out for a while and get it cheap.
Well, 2016, I think, dropped in price really quick. Like, I mean, I wasn't like mad because fucking $60 was well worth it for Doom 2016 anyway. But like, I think it dropped to like 40 real quick.
Like story-oriented shooters like that always drop quick because you get like the initial burst of people buying it, and then like a month later, everyone guts their copies, and it's like you get $20 off it. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But what else have you been playing? What's the last?
The only other thing is what I'm currently playing is A Hat in Time.
Oh yeah, you guys were talking about that. I was gonna try and grab that on Amazon, but I completely forgot about it.
I don't know if it's still $30, but that's what I grabbed it for, and it comes with the first DLC in the box.
What is it?
It is a collectathon, in the vein of like Mario 64 or Sunshine. You know, those kind of 64 era games where you go into a level, get a star, whatever other collectibles and, do a thing. It's a 3D platformer.
Huh, all right.
You play as a little girl named Hat Kid. She has her own little spaceship that is...
Her name is Hat
Yep,
Kid?
that's the only name.
Best parents ever.
Hat Kid. Flying around in her spaceship that is pretty much what you would expect a 10-year-old child's spaceship to be. It's very colorful. Fucking everything's a mess. You can go up to various stuff in the ship and in all the different rooms, and you can interact with some of them. And it's got really dark humor here and there. It's like, this is my closet. I only wear one thing, so there are plenty room for skeletons. This is the microwave where I regularly punish food. It's just got a really quirky humor to it. Dude, this game has so much goddamn charm. It's crazy.
I looked it up. It is still $30 on Amazon.
It's worth it. It's
see if I can get it cheaper.
It's worth your time. I'm having a blast.
It may be
with
worth it, but Animal Crossing.
But Animal Crossing.
Out soon.
Well, this has been a good bridge gap between
and then,
this
of course,
and
Final
Yakuza.
Fantasy comes out soon. So yeah.
But
but yeah, that's good.
Super enjoying Hat in Time. Great music as well. Like, I was sitting there, I popped grabbed like the soundtrack on YouTube and was just like sitting there listening to it while I was doing shit earlier.
Yeah, all I've played lately, and even this has been more recent than anything else, was Fortnite, and that's because the new season started, and Junin has been asking me for months to play with him, and I kept telling him, if the next theme for the next season looks interesting, I'll consider it. And it's like James Bond, Secret Agents, like they have like not single player missions. It's hard to describe. Like, so the new level has it's an island, but it has like small landmarks around it. And the theme of this is you have the Ghosts clan and the Shadow clan, and they're fighting each other, and they have bases around the map. Like, one is a yacht, so you can land on the yacht, and it's all AI controlled henchmen, and you can disguise yourself as one of them. You can like pick up their bodies and use it to open like treasure chests that have really good weapons. There's a boss in each area that has like 200 health. If you kill him, you get a special weapon and a key card that opens a safe that gives you better weapons. So I finally caved, and I was like, all right, fine, I'll do this. So I've been playing that with him. That's really about it. So
I heard that they messed with the way matchmaking works in that game. That it's more it's based on it's like a skill level based matchmaking now.
I have no idea. All I can tell you is that I won a solo earlier, and we won a duo right after that. So dude, I play solo the same way I would play a sniping game. I grab weapons, I hide, I wait till idiots make the wrong move, and then I murder them. That's exactly how I won my solo this morning.
That's because you have patience and I do not. I get really bored and antsy, so just like in real life. I'm fucking bored, I want to go do something.
There they are. It's fun. Like, I know, like we knock on Fortnite a lot, but I mean, I think it's more impressive than anything else that they've managed to keep it relatively fresh this long. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's been fun. That's all I've really played. I do have some gaming news I wanted to discuss.
The news.
Let's talk about the news. So let's the first thing I wanted to talk about, just because I didn't even know this was a fucking game until like 30 minutes ago when I was looking for things to talk about. Did you know that the company that made the Friday the 13th game is making a Predator game where it's 4 soldiers versus a predator in a jungle?
I'd play it. Shit. Fuck yeah. I've got a way more emotional connection to that than Friday the 13th.
There are trials for it starting March 27th through the 29th. It's going to be on PS4 and PC with cross-platform. So
now the real question is, will they make it fun to play? Because I played that Friday the 13th game, and
I'm glad you could play it. I couldn't fucking get in. I remember they gave that game out for free, and it wouldn't load. I had to delete it.
That was the way it was for what was that other game? The copyright friendly. game that's it's the same thing, but not Friday the 13th. I can't remember what it was called, but I couldn't get that game to load.
Nightmare, Deadlight, Daylight, Dead Before Daylight.
Dead by Daylight, I think is what it is.
Dead by Daylight. Whatever, I don't give a fuck.
But yeah, that game
wouldn't load either. Both of those themed games I could never actually try.
We did. I think we got it to load at some point somehow, and we did a bunch of private games or something. And I mean, it was worth the free. I will say it. I will say that.
I remember Baker saying you could farm trophies on it if you had if you wanted to take the time and commit to it in private matches, to which I say I do not.
Yeah.
I'm not farming trophies unless it's a game I absolutely love.
Yeah.
Like Control. I did that because Control is fucking great.
Man, I don't achievement hunt no more. I mean, occasionally I'll go after him still on Xbox games because I had that number commitment already. But on the PlayStation, fuck trophies.
I have only done it for games where I had so much fun in them that I just wanted to get everything done. Like I did it for Spider-Man, I did it for God of War.
Same. I did it for those two.
And I did it for Control because those I had so much fun in the game world that I'm like, okay, what can I do next to keep this going a little? How much longer can I keep the high going?
I'm probably going to go back and do that for Control because I really like that game. See, I have...
You should. Control was not terribly hard to platinum.
I'll
tell you that some of the boss fights, they're annoying as shit. Especially, did you do the hidden boss fights? Did you go into the mirror world?
The mirror world?
Okay.
No, I don't think so. Unless it was a part of the main campaign.
Nope. There are 3 bosses, 3 or 4, that are completely independent of the game. Do you remember that big thing you fought? Like, it would pop up and launch, pillars at you.
The refrigerator boss?
Maybe?
It was the one where it was the refrigerator that you can't look away from, otherwise fucking bad shit happens.
I think so.
And you go in and you fight the big old boss with the one eyeball, right?
Yeah, so he pops up again in a different form. He's relatively easy to deal with. There's another one that you fight where it's Did you go through the area with all the clocks on the ground?
Yeah, the anchor boss.
Yeah, I think that was a hidden one, or at least there's a hidden one in that area. But the one that took me the longest to figure out was the mirror universe, because you have to go into, I think it's synchronicity or whatever. If you look up, the boss's name is Jesse backwards. It's just Essedge. But you go into this mirror world and all of the text, like the voice dialogue, is reversed. It's so trippy. But that fighting the mirror version of you was so fucking annoying until I figured out the trick to basically just one-hit it. Do you want me to tell you, or do you want to fight it?
No, go ahead and tell me. Who knows? Like, knowing me, I'll forget. So,
and for beating this boss, by the way, you unlock Jesse's pajama outfit. So,
I mean, the director's got to be comfortable.
So to fight the boss, it's really easy. Like I told you in the very beginning of the game, you max out your throw ability.
Yeah, as soon as you told me that, I started pumping all of my resources into that. And it definitely, you don't even need a gun most of the time.
It definitely helps for this because if you have a shotgun, like I maxed out the shotgun late game, I didn't realize how good that thing was to break shields until late in the game. So with the boss, like it starts off normal, but she has like 3 different forms. And the real trick is to go to the other side of the room where she is, and she'll go to where you were. If you go stand next to the pillar at the top of the steps, you can just pop out, throw rocks or shit at her. She'll take the damage. When she gets near you, if you hide on the other side of the pillar, she completely forgets where you are. So you can just pop out and be like, ninja rock, and that's all I did to beat her. So
I want to go back on and do more shit in Control. I had this thing to where if I see the credits roll on a game I've been playing for like days, I'm just like, all right, I'm done. I don't want to play. So I'm really putting off doing the last part of the last world in a Hat in Time, because I'm like, as soon as I see those credits, I'm not going to want to play this game anymore. So I'm savoring it as long as I will let myself, I guess.
Yeah, dude, there's a ton of hidden shit in Control, especially since you played Alan Wake, like that you should go back and find.
I definitely want
especially like the Alan Wake book part that I told you about. I think I told you about that.
I found the Easter egg. I had to go on YouTube and try and
Nice.
figure it out because I was hunting for like 30 minutes in that area trying to figure it out, and
just floating around.
yeah, I could not find that window
Yeah.
to save my life. What weapon did you like use primarily in Control? Because I used
The machine gun.
really, I never used that thing. I used Pierce.
Nope, hated that gun.
I loved that shit because I could snipe with it and it would fucking pierce through multiple enemies. Man, I used Pierce religiously.
Nope, maxed out the machine gun. I had it with mods that increased the fire rate, so I basically went through all my ammo in 2 seconds, but it was like a one hit on everything because it did like 60% shield damage. So I would look at something, pull the trigger, and it just dropped immediately.
That was that was the same for me with Pierce, except for I just had to let it warm up a second. I don't know. I've always been a one shot big damage kind of person rather than.
Not in that game, dude. Some of the shit I had to fight in that like late game. Oh my god, Jesus! That the underground boss that you fought in the really infected area. I hated that fucking boss fight. Did you get the gold outfit, by the way?
No, I didn't.
So, do you know the luck and probability room that you go through? There's like a roulette table on one side, and it has like it's where you first meet the female, like the black female commander. She's got like an eye patch or something. I don't know.
That
But
may have been something I missed.
There's it's part of the story. You couldn't have missed
Then
that.
I might just be forgetting.
So there's an area in the building for luck and probability, and if you go into the side room that you can only unlock once you have like level 5 clearance, there's a puzzle you have to do where you have to trigger certain things and move things in a certain order to get a roulette table to stop on a certain number, and if you do it, you unlock the director's outfit, but it's just gold.
Huh.
So it's pretty neat. But anyway, I feel like we should control ourselves and move away from Control.
Yeah, I mean that's everything I've played.
Yeah, I haven't really touched anything else. Like I said, I'm waiting for Animal Crossing, but we talked about Predator, which I didn't know about. We should definitely give that a go. If the beta for that's on fucking PS4, I say
I'll give it a try. I'm hopefully their net coding is a little better, and hopefully the Predator is actually fun to control. Because goddamn, Jason was not fun to be. The campers were barely fun to be, and even then it was like a slog sometimes.
It says right here that trial will be open to Epic Game Store players and PS Plus members on the PS4. Trial will be available to download March 27th at 5 p.m., 8 p.m., 5 p.m. PT, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. You'll be able to play solo as the Predator or team up with 3 others as part of a human fire
I'll
team.
give it a shot.
So, yeah. So let's move on to my next topic. And for this one, Zach, I'm going to need you to go into the chat that we have and click the spoilers on the pictures, because we're going to talk about the movie. The movie posters that got put up for the fucking Monster Hunter movie coming out.
Is that a fucking Mila Jovovich? That's fucking weird. Okay, if you were gonna tell me
Tony Jaa.
Let's see, what's the other? Tony Jaa. Wait, who do I know Tony Jaa from?
Ong Bak. He was in that. Ong Bak 2. He's
I don't think I've seen those.
They're really big like Thai action movies. He was in the 7th Fast and the Furious. I can't remember exactly what he played, but I know he was in that. But yeah, so these are the first things that have come out for the Monster Hunter movies, and I think it's gonna look like garbage. I think it's gonna be the best kind of garbage,
probably,
because the description is Monster Hunter's story focuses on a group of human soldiers led by Artemis, who are transported to an alien world populated by monsters. Artemis and the hunter must team up and fight back against the terrifying creatures. Movie also stars Ron Perlman and rapper turned actor T.I.
Oh no! Look, man, Capcom likes Mila Jovovich. She was in all the Resident Evil movies, so fucking I guess they're cool with her. I'm not exactly like, I played Monster Hunter World like a whole bunch. But, once again, once I saw those credits roll and I had beaten all the the regular monsters and everything, I dropped that game hard, but I had a good time. But
I want to know, and somebody brought this up on Reddit, and it was the first thing I wondered, because like you, I've only played Monster Hunter World.
Yep.
But I mean, that did make me a fan of the game.
Monster Hunter World is fun as shit.
So my question for this movie is, are the soldiers going to run around chasing one monster for 30 minutes, fight it for 2 hours, and then get angry that it didn't drop the one part that they need?
All right. Likelihood that they will have palicos.
I think they're definitely going to be in there.
You think they're gonna have palicos?
There's no way they're not going to be in there, dude.
I don't know, man. I think they're gonna try and play it real serious, and I don't think they're gonna have palicos.
No fucking way. You know what? I'm going to say it. I think we're going to get Grand Meowster in the game. Calling it right now. I think it's going to happen. I think the soldiers are going to show up. They're going to see the creatures. The hunter's going to be like, we need to go back to my village. And they're going to go back to the village, and they're going to see fucking palicos doing everything. And T.I. is going to be like, what the fuck is this shit?
What the fuck is this shit? Is that a cat?
I'm calling it right now. This movie is going to be the best kind of bad. Best kind of bad. Zach, we need to see this movie close to launch so we can do a whole podcast about Monster
Hunter podcast special edition.
Oh man, but yeah, I wanted you to see the poster, Zach, because oh man, I don't know. I have no faith in Mila Jovovich after the Resident Evil films. There is no amount of Fifth Element in the world that can save you after all.
Did I tell you that I went on a quest and watched every single one of those movies in like a 2-week span?
You did, and I don't want to talk about it. That is something you're gonna have to take up with your God when you die. I want nothing to do with it.
It was not a wholly unpleasant experience. Half of it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could say the same about anal sex, but we're not going to get into discussions about that. So anyway, the next thing we're going to talk about, I have 2 final topics before we kind of get into movie stuff for the most part. The first one is GameStop. You know, Zach and I both worked for GameStop at some point in our life. I worked for them long ago, like mid-2000s.
It was only like 3 or 4 years ago for me, so.
But I wanted to talk about GameStop laying off like more than half of their district managers, apparently.
I know things.
I'm sorry, regional. It was regional managers, and then I think they got rid of like 15 of their district managers, which, for those of you that don't know this, before I know I asked Zach his opinion and immediately cut him off, I feel like this might require a little explaining for anyone that isn't used to the GameStop level of GameStop hierarchy. So you have game advisors. Mm-hmm. In other words, people that are paid part-time to tell kids that they can't buy Grand Theft Auto without a parent.
Part-time being like 4 to 10 hours a week, if you're lucky, depending on your GameStop.
Then you have what's called
class, minimum wage.
You have an SGA. Mm-hmm. SGA is, if I remember correctly, the first level where you can be a key holder.
Yeah, it is. You're a key holder, and I mean, you're basically you get at least. I think you get it. You probably get full-time hours too. It probably varies. But yeah,
I don't know about that, because I remember SGA's, like at my store, they got about 30, but I don't think most of them cracked full time.
It might not be full time then. I know you do get paid over minimum wage, which is nice. But yeah, it's basically your third key at that point, or it's probably second in this case.
At that point, you are paid to come out and talk with the parents that are angry that their kids weren't allowed to buy Grand Theft Auto because the parents weren't there. So above that, if I remember correctly, you have the actual store manager themselves. Right? Or was there was the ASM? Sorry, the assistant store manager,
you have the assistant store managers. For my place, it was like there was 2. It's fucking weird. It seems like they kind of interchange a little bit, but I think you do have at least one assistant store manager.
What I was gonna mention was, up here, most stores that did decent business had an ASM, but if you were a slow traffic store, you weren't guaranteed an ASM. You always had a store manager, you always had SGAs.
That might be the way it is here. It's like I said, it's kind of weird without asking, hey, what's your fucking rank? It's kind of always, it's a little hard to know, but
yeah. So above, at that point, when you are an ASM, you have full time, and you are essentially paid to deal with the employees that want to quit, because the parents who came in and complained about their kids not being able to buy Grand Theft Auto now want to go home because they're upset. Mm-hmm. So, And then above ASMs, you have store managers. So store managers are exactly what is described. Store managers run the store. They're responsible for most LP issues, reporting them. And at that point, you are directly responsible for dealing with correspondence from corporate, from parents that got angry because the ASM didn't talk to them right when the SGA walked away after their kids weren't allowed to buy Grand Theft Auto because you weren't there with them in the first place.
You get to go to the fucking conventions where the higher ups go. You get given the free fucking consoles and shit.
I would like to point out that when I was working at GameStop, no managers ever fucking talked about that.
Oh, they did. Mine sure did. He's like, yeah, I got to meet those people that are in the videos that we have to listen to for fucking 12 hours a day. And I got friends that worked for. I got a free R2D2 360, and I got this for free. And
yep, I remember when the PS4 launched, I had friends that ran stores, and they came back with 2 of them.
Yeah,
like just 2 of them.
Which
might explain why GameStop has the problems that it does. Like, once you hit a certain level at GameStop, it's almost worth it to stick around until you're done college.
Yeah.
Because you're guaranteed to get, like, just swag from shit half the time. But anyway, moving on. Above store managers, you have district managers. Now, district managers up here were responsible for, I think, between 10 and 15 stores, like in an area, because GameStops were fucking just so densely packed. The 10 or 15 stores is like, what, 3 blocks?
Yeah, they are in charge of a region of stores.
No, they're in charge of
a district, fucking region, district. I guess I use them interchangeably.
Yeah. But because above district managers, you have regional managers. Oh, well,
then shut up, God. I guess I always use those words interchangeably.
Yeah, but regional managers will usually, I think they were responsible for state level issues.
So a state would probably be a region, or maybe like a chunk of the state would be a region.
Yeah, I think that's what regional managers were for GameStop. Now I know regional managers in other companies are like larger swaths. Like weren't regional managers for AMC responsible for like multiple states?
We didn't have a definite regional manager. The closest you got was to a director of operations, which was multiple states.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so anyway, that was a very long, drawn-out way of saying that GameStop is firing some of the higher-end people in their company, and from what it looks like, they're not replacing them.
That is a bad sign. I mean, we've been hearing for a while, I've been hearing especially this year that shit's going south real hard for GameStop as a company.
I mean, I see it every once in a while because I follow the GameStop subreddit, just because I think it's funny seeing what employees post there sometimes.
Oh, GameStop mostly horror stories are always entertaining in some way or another. Horrifyingly entertaining sometimes.
It's even worse when you can relate to them because you work there. And, like, honestly, some of the stuff the employees go through now, I never dealt with. Like, the ridiculous shipments that fucking come in. This one dude posted a picture. Did you ever see the Snorlax beanbag chair that they had for a while?
I think I have seen one of those before, yeah.
Okay, so if you have not seen this, first of all, if you don't know what a Snorlax is, why the fuck are you listening to this podcast? It was a beanbag chair made of Snorlax.
made of Snorlax. It is a skinned Snorlax.
It's just chunks of meat inside of a bag. No, it's a beanbag chair that was designed to look like Snorlax, and this thing was huge. Like I'm 6'1", almost 6'2", and I could lay in the one that like Mari's brother had really comfortably. These things were massive. And apparently when they shipped, they were just put into giant cardboard boxes. What the fuck else are you going to ship a giant beanbag in? This one guy posted on the GameStop subreddit that the company sent him 20 of them.
Oh,
20.
Where the fuck oh my god, that box had to have been massive. Where the fuck do you put them?
I'm just sitting here like, where the fuck do you put that many Snorlaxes?
And think of it this way.
You can't put them in the PC, Zach. You can't put them in the PC.
Think of it this way. I don't know how many GameStops are big. Most of the ones I've been into are not. They're like little shoeboxes size rooms that a GameStop is in. A lot of times they're in like a fucking mall area or smaller.
I don't even know what the biggest GameStop. I guess like some of the ones that are independent like, I don't want to say independent stores, but the non-mall stores are usually a little bigger.
The one here is in what used to be the Blockbuster in town. So it is a pretty damn big store. It's the biggest GameStop I've ever been
I imagine
in.
that'd be pretty big.
Yeah, it's the big. I mean, it was a plaza size Blockbuster, but like it wasn't like a huge one. But it's still the biggest GameStop I've ever been into. There's plenty of room in there.
That's fucking crazy. Anyway, this is a very long, drawn-out way of saying that GameStop is firing some of its higher-ups. They're not replacing them, and I mean, everyone who follows gaming knows that GameStop is not doing well. They're hoping that since the new consoles are coming out, that they're going to see like an uptick in stuff, and they might. One of the things I'm concerned about, and I don't want to dwell too long on this, so we're not talking about GameStop so much, is their redesign that they're looking into, where they're trying to turn some of their stores into social gaming spaces, and this to me is both funny and pathetic at the same time. So a quick bit of backstory to explain before I get into why this is so funny. Anyone that's been playing games for I'd say probably through the 90s remembers what gaming stores used to be like, like Funko Land, EB Games, if you ever went to one of those before GameStop took them over.
Electronics
even
boutique.
Sunco to some extent.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So anyone that remembers those stores I remember them very fondly. Like, it was kind of like what GameStop was a few years ago, where it was just games everywhere.
Yeah, it was a little community kind of thing. Like, you just go there, fucking be around people like you who have your interests. So
yeah. So that's what GameStop used to be like. And over the years, it shifted more into sort of a nerd multimedia, like, not multimedia, but like, they're trying to appeal to everyone.
Bro, here's
while
your
specializing
here's your wall of
nothing.
Funko. Don't you want some Funko Pops? Here they are.
Like, so the reason I mention that is because their new space that they're designing apparently has less space for modern games, more space dedicated to retro games,
Which they attempted
and
a couple years ago.
And then they also have inside communal gaming spaces with like PC setup where you can go in and play stuff. To which my response is, what the fuck? You abandoned the PC market years ago, basically. You abandoned the retro market and then tried to slink your way back in when you realize, oh, people still buy these fucking things. Yep. So, yeah.
That's, again, unless they're building some new fucking GameStop buildings with all this room, there ain't gonna be no room for that shit in most GameStops.
Right? Anyway.
That's weird. Like, on one hand, I'm like, you know, GameStop fucking, the way they've been running their business for a while sucks, like the way they treat some of their employees. Like, I didn't have to deal with it very much, but I've seen the horror stories where it's like, yeah, this dude brought back a console that he took a giant shit in and blamed me for breaking it when I tried to plug it in, and my boss didn't have my back. I've heard those horror stories countless times. I never had to deal with that, thankfully, but that shit happens. But
yeah.
And so on one hand, I'm like, you know what, fuck GameStop for making this like trade-in priority kind of system where you treat your employees badly just to make sure you get those numbers. But on the other hand, it's like there aren't that many, unless it's like a individually owned Gamers World, which is a place in Huntsville with a Z and everything, that sell these games. They're on their own. The brick and mortar video games store is going to be kind of gone, and you're just going to have Target and Walmart as your only primary way to get things physically, unless you just rely on Amazon or something, which I kind of already do. But it's still kind of fun to go into a fucking video game store and look at shit and buy shit, you know?
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. It's the times they are a-changing.
One thing I'm just going to go over quick, just to transition out of that, because I thought it was funny. We don't have to spend too much time talking about it. Is apparently Dead or Alive 6 is now charging to change hair color of characters.
God, really? God, that game is... that game is a fucking mess.
Yep.
Dead or Alive, was this the new one? 6, right? So 5, it has the second place record for most expensive, like, overall DLC, like all added together DLC. Train Simulator I think Euro Train Simulator has the most expensive cumulative cost DLC, but 5 has the second with all the fucking swimsuits and shit.
People who love their trains, man. I'm not going to knock them for that.
People who love their titties love their titties.
Love their titties. That's right. That's the way the world works.
I didn't touch 6, but 5 felt gross in the way that characters sweat in that game. So it was always like really nasty to me. Like I was just like,
you can smell the nipples.
It's like, Zach, please, fucking dude, go change out of that full suit in summer and please go take a shower. You're sweating, dog. Dude, it's weird. I would play and I'm like, I don't want to play this because it's gross. not even because it's lewd gross. And I'm fine with lewd gross. I'm like, they look like they smell. I don't want to play this game.
All right, well, moving away from you not wanting to smell Zach from fucking DOA.
He does a sweet dab, though.
My next two topics kind of tie together in a weird way, so I'm gonna try and link these. The first part of it is we had talked about E3 in the last podcast, and I thought it'd be interesting to bring this up because EA announced that you can buy a premium badge for this year. This premium badge for E3 cost $995.
Fuck you. What does that get you?
Now,
please tell me.
For that $995. Now keep in mind I don't have an exact like spreadsheet here of what it gets you. I just have like a paragraph breakdown. So if I miss something and somebody listens to this like 3 years down the road and wants to complain, fuck off, because E3 probably won't be around in 3 years. I'm gonna go cry in a corner now. It gets you access to the show a day early. For one, which I didn't really think was a big deal, but I also didn't know that E3's base pass only gets you in for Wednesday and Thursday. So this premium pass gets you in Tuesday, which is apparently when everything opens up to, I guess, journalists and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So if you wanted,
so you won't have to fight
more
for lines as much.
Exactly. Which is cool. I mean, if you're going to something like this and you're spending the money to commit to it, that could be really neat. If you wanted to try and like, rub shoulders or rub elbows, whatever the fuck the expression is, with like, some gaming journalists or maybe... Yeah, if you want to schmooze, which actually is a perfect lead into the next part of this. If you want to schmooze with some of these people, it could possibly be beneficial for that. I can also imagine if you are running like a gaming YouTube channel or a blog and you want to have shit out immediately before everyone else, that could really be beneficial because you could take it back to your hotel room, cut the video there. Now, as for the schmooze part, and that's a perfect lead into this, the bigger benefit of this from what I'm seeing is it gets you access to a quiet lounge, which I didn't mean that to be a bigger benefit. It's just something I was reading. A quiet lounge is basically where you can go and work on stuff, and it's quiet. Most premium badges for cons give you access to something like that now, but it also gives you access to a behind the scenes sort of like a party. It's like a VIP thing. Where they haven't announced all of the VIPs that are going to be there, but you could basically go there, talk to them, figure out what's going on in their sector of the gaming universe. The one person that they have confirmed is going to be there is the head of the ESA, the Electronic Software Association, I think. He was there last year. He was pretty popular. Apparently these badges sold out last year. So... I mean, that's kind of cool. It says it gets you discount on merchandise, access to a VIP entrance into the convention, which anyone that's ever been to a convention, if you have access into it from a way other than the commoners, you know how nice that is. And it says, last year, premium badge holders ran the gamut from veteran E3 attendees who appreciated the quiet lounge option to newbies who wanted to be able to expedite their access to the floor and take advantage of the, quote, concierge-like service for hotel reservations, which is kind of cool. The breakfast with Stan and industry CEOs is an example of VIP programming that was really well attended and popular, as were the afternoon networking receptions. So this definitely seems like something that may be worth it to someone in the profession. Like if Retrotainment, excuse me, ever took off and I wanted more gaming oriented stuff, I might drop $1,000 on this, you know, if it was going to get me out there and get more like behind the scenes sort of stuff. So like at first I was reading this and it's like, who the fuck's going to pay $1,000 for this? And then the more I read about it, I'm like, okay, I guess this really isn't targeted toward plebes who want to bitch at Nintendo for not making another Advance Wars.
Yeah.
Even though I would totally fucking bitch at Nintendo for not making another Advance Wars.
I mean, if this is I guess if like journalism or YouTubing or whatever, the gaming scene is your fucking income, and you might even be able to make that grand as a business expense, tax write-off.
Write that shit as a tax write-off.
Yeah, so yeah, I can see that. It is not meant for the two of us, perhaps, but yeah, I can see people doing that.
Hold on, not yet.
Not yet.
Mark, look up if we can tax write off $1,000 convention ticket on taxes. Oh man. So anyway, the final thing I'm going to talk about gaming wise, and it's a perfect segue from that, is the coronavirus. What? So this is not only gaming, this is a lot of stuff. I mean, clearly, I don't need to tell anybody what coronavirus is right now. It is a disease spread across the world where nobody wants to drink Corona anymore. It is plagued Mexico. But so something that didn't really occur to me until earlier this week is how many conventions are being affected by the coronavirus. I staff Otakon, which is an anime convention on the East Coast, and I attend other conventions throughout the year. And one thing that I'm used to dealing with as we get closer to Otakon is we have a lot of guest announcements behind the scenes. A lot of us start planning how we're going to tackle certain things. One of the woman who actually runs my department also runs a department for Anime Boston and has friends that work like PAX East and all these other conventions that are coming up soon. And all of these guests are pulling out from these conventions. The GDC, which is the Gamer Development Conference, I think that's usually in Germany, has been postponed because Sony, EA, Blizzard, Unity, Epic all have withdrawn due to coronavirus concerns. Japan fucking has shut down everything. Like, kids aren't going to school for a month because of coronavirus. So
now's our time.
Yeah, I think, yeah, can I get to Japan cheap now? Or like plane tickets cheap to Asia because of coronavirus? Which actually is funny because I read yesterday that United isn't even flying to China or Japan until this is settled. So no, they're not.
Oh, I guess it's changed.
They're not going anywhere. Steve and Marty, you know where they're going? To fucking Denny's. I don't know what that has to do with Japan, but they're going to be able to get in there quicker than they're going to get out of the States.
God, man, I haven't talked to those two in fucking like 3 years.
They got married.
Oh, good for them.
Recently, like this week, I think.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah. So anyway, all these conventions and all this stuff are shutting down because of this. And I kind of wanted your input because you, aren't you guys doing fucking Momo?
We're going MomoCon this year. Yeah. You know, that's the plan. I haven't looked at like guest lists or anything or seen if anyone had pulled out or anything like that. But,
I mean, Zach, you know from my sex life, I don't pull out.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, when is Momo's in May, right? Is it
yes,
May?
It is May. I think tail end of May.
It's gonna be May. I would like to go to Momo. I would really like to go to a convention.
Highly recommend.
Out of my like my comfort area here.
If you're gonna go to one in the South, I really do highly recommend Momo. As far as anime goes, I'd like to go to PAX South at some point, but
where isn't PAX South in Texas?
It is, which is why I haven't went because that is a long way to go. Yeah. Atlanta's like 2 hour drive.
I know Tara goes to
Texas
PAX
is like
year.
10 or something.
Yeah, well, Texas is also fucking gargantuan.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would like to go to Momo. I had looked into going this year because we had all talked about it, and then everything happened job-wise, and I kind of put it on the back burner. But, yeah.
I like Momo quite a bit. This will be my third year going to Momo. Not in a row, but because I've had to miss every other... It is like an every other year kind of thing at this point, but... I'm looking forward to it. So hopefully it still fucking happens. No one gets coronavirus in Atlanta. Though,
I don't know.
Real talk, fucking Atlanta airport, that fucking huge ass airport hub. That's where it would spread hardcore. If it was gonna spread, it would be from the Atlanta airport.
I think that they're just going to make everyone walk through like a mandatory Lysol decontamination chamber off the planes at Atlanta, I don't know. That's going to be nuts. I would definitely go to Momocon's page, see if they're saying anything about it, but I don't think they're going to cancel. You might just see like a little downtick in, foreign guests attending.
Yeah.
Which, dude, I cannot wait to see if this impacts Otakon. This might be the first year I go to the closing ceremonies, because anyone that staffs a convention knows you avoid closing ceremonies, because if you're wearing a staff badge, you will immediately be targeted by people complaining about stuff. So it always devolves into 2 hours of people yelling about how they weren't able to get X, or they waited in line for X amount of time and they weren't able to do something. And that devolves into the president or the vice president getting up and saying, we apologize, but we run a strict schedule, blah, blah, blah. This year, if we don't have like popular Asian voice actors or something, someone's gonna complain about it, and I'm just waiting for the president to have to apologize for the fucking coronavirus. Like, I'm sorry that a global pandemic happened. It should have started in Madagascar, but someone started that shit in China and we couldn't get control of it. #Playgame.
You can't even eat bats anymore.
Yeah, what does the world come to when I can't eat bats? Damn it. Well, coronavirus started with bats, but anyway.
Someone ate a fucking bat. To think Ozzy Osbourne could have started this shit decades ago.
He did an AMA on Reddit. I wonder if anyone asked him about coronavirus because he bit the head off the bat.
He had so many fucking drugs and alcohol in him at the time that it just fucking killed the coronavirus early.
Yeah, dude.
He could have been patient zero. He's pickled at this point.
He's basically Keith Richards. They have self-mummified themselves with drugs and everything else. But anyway, moving away from video game stuff, we've spent almost 40 minutes talking about video game shit.
It's a nice change, because last time I don't think we touched video games at all, but it was all movies, so I'm cool with that.
We're going to talk about movies.
All right.
I would like to talk about what we watched, but really quickly, I don't want to spend too much time on it. Did you see anything interesting other than the movie we watched?
3 things specifically. Really 2, because one's kind of like a whatever. But we watched Zombieland 2 last night. Double tap.
Oh, was that any good?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a sequel to Zombieland. And so if you've seen the first one, then you're like, all right, more of this, please. That's what it is. It was a good time.
My Hollywood waifu is in that, so I was interested. But, the movie itself was kind of, cool, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's neat. So what else did you see?
I watched Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh, dude, that's right. You did see Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That movie is exactly what it says on the tin.
Didn't it come out on my birthday?
Yeah,
I think it did. Like, I was so excited for this because I remember seeing the trailer. I was like, this is going to be the most ridiculous action film I've ever seen. This is going to be the Citizen Kane of bad action films. And you know what? Damned if I wasn't right. That movie was, if we're looking at story, it is not going to win any Oscars.
No.
But if you just want like a good action movie with like, I won't say it's super funny, but it had some funny moments here and there. You definitely see that. It's a nice. I'm kind of curious to see what else they're going to splinter off from the Fast and the Furious universe if they do anything else. I mean, Hobbs and Shaw made sense, but I know they're doing a sequel, so that's cool. I really like that movie. I won't say it was my favorite movie of the year, but I do not regret seeing it.
No, it was the dumbest of dumb fun.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Speaking of Fast and the Furious real quick, did you happen to see the trailer for 9?
I watched it. Wait, did I watch it? Shit, I don't remember if I watched it.
Oh, you'd remember if you saw it because it has jet car magnets now. There is a scene. The villain in this one isn't it John Cena in this one? Yeah, John Cena. So I don't know how we're going to watch a movie where we can't see the villain through the entire fucking thing. But so John Cena is apparently is Dominic's brother. Oh shit.
Oh, shit.
It's literally all about family
Oh
now.
no.
And there's a scene where he I think he's driving a Mustang, and obviously Dom is driving the Charger, and he takes the Mustang and just goes off a cliff, and there's a jet with a magnet on the bottom and it's carrying him, and Dom's chasing after him, and they're like, oh shit, what's he gonna do? And he fucking just hooks the car and drives off a cliff and swings it around a bridge. Oh my god.
Dude, you gotta
so
use
fucking
action
ridiculous.
movie probability magic.
I'm telling you, dude. I'm getting so close to my theory being right. I've been saying this for years. I am gonna see one of them come into the stratosphere from space in a Dodge Charger. I'm just waiting for it.
Dude,
it is a matter of time.
No, what's gonna happen is they're gonna fucking ride a rocket up there because of some heist or something, right? And what they're gonna do is that they're gonna suddenly, when they need it the most, when things are at their most dire, they're gonna look over and they're gonna see the Tesla Roadster. And they're gonna fucking hop in and they're gonna ride that shit back into the fucking stratosphere.
Okay, well, there's a lot of problems wrong with that theory.
Shut
Mostly
up.
that the Tesla Roadster is near Mars at this point.
Nope, it's gonna be miraculously around the space station. They gotta save the space station.
Okay, your mic is cutting out hard.
Yeah.
Quick, so yeah.
Yours a little bit too.
But anyway, yeah. So Hobbs and Shaw, great bad action film if you want to see it, and I'm almost certain that we're both going to see the ninth movie. So we'll see what that's like. But anyway, what was the other movie you saw? Zach?
Oh, sorry. I'm here.
Okay,
Fucking-
that's gonna be a fun pause to edit out right there.
Yeah, sorry about that. Disconnected the VPN for a second to see if that would improve it. It sounds a lot better now, though.
So I'd ask, what else did you see? What was the third movie?
The third movie was that I think I sent a message to you. Is that movie called Derailed? Not derailed, one word. D-E railed. No, D-railed.
Oh, you mentioned it, but I don't remember anything about it.
It is some movie on Amazon Prime that I was just like, this movie is, I don't know what it is. Fuck it. I'm gonna watch it. I'm bored. It is a movie about a, those murder mystery train, attractions you can go on?
Yeah.
Okay. They go on that, then it turns into, surprise, this is a train heist thing.
Okay.
So it's a fucking train robbery heist. Give us all your jewels, all that. With people who are the actors or whatever, robbing the whole attraction, whatever. But then halfway from the movie, tone shift. They go around a corner too fast, and one of the train cars just, breaks off of a bridge and lands in a presumably some kind of lake, right? And then a fucking swamp monster comes out and starts picking them off.
What?
Yeah, no, right? There was no lead up to a swamp monster coming and eating people at all. There was one subtle thing. Well, I say subtle. There's one thing that kind of leads up to is there going to be haunting? Because a woman, one of the characters hallucinates some big bugs on her plate. And so I'm like, is there going to be a ghost? Is there going to be a haunting? That's the only thing. There's no thing that's like, did you hear about the disappearances around Lake Pontchartrain? People been disappearing. Don't want to go down that road. No lead up. Just suddenly there's a swamp monster or a lake monster coming up. Humanoid lake monster with big old teeth coming eating the survivors. And then it's that for the rest of the movie. It's fucking stupid.
Okay.
But
that definitely sounds like a movie.
It was a movie that I watched, but to spoil this shitty movie, it does what a twist kind of moment where it's like, she's this woman makes it through hell, right? Makes it through hell. All of her friends are dead. Makes it back to the train station, I guess, where it all started, and the girl who's works the attraction, she fucking takes the tickets, whatever she is. It's trying to console her, whatever. And then she goes and gets her manager. She comes back and the fucking survivor is gone, right? And the guy's like, come with me. And he goes through this fucking train car, which is apparently a museum piece with like everything, all these articles of like people's jewelry and everything. It's like, this group of people disappeared in the 1920s. No one knows what happened to them. So it was like, oh, so there was a ghost the whole time.
This movie sounds like
it's
garbage.
Fucking stupid. It was so fucking stupid. Like,
great, that's a long way of saying that we're done talking about this movie.
I don't know why it was called D-Railed. I don't...
Because it's dumb.
It's so fucking dumb. You're right, it does sound like a porn name.
Great. Awesome.
That's all I want.
So moving on. We've been talking for an hour and 10 minutes, and now we're finally getting to the movie that we watched, which was The Limey. So Zach picked The Limey.
I'm sorry.
Progressing, like we said earlier, from Nicky Cat, who was in Boiler Room. I don't remember his character's name, but he was the jerk white guy.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, they were all jerk
Yeah,
white
they were
guys.
all jerk white guys except for Vin Diesel, whatever the hell he is.
So yeah, Nicky Cat led us to The Limey, which was directed by Steven Soderbergh. Came out in 1999. And I'm just going to say off the bat, I didn't like the movie when it ended. And the more that I think about it, the more it's growing on me. Like, I won't say it's one of my favorite films ever. I won't even go as far as to say that, like, I loved the movie. I will say that the movie did certain things that I haven't seen other movies do in a while. And it reminded me a lot of Memento in, like, in the way where you're using, like, fractured memory scenes to explain parts of the story.
I can see that.
And it's, first of all, just to get this out there right now, this is not an easy movie to watch.
No,
Like-
thankfully it's short, though.
It is. It's very short. I think it's only like an hour and 20 minutes
Yeah.
long. And comically enough, when I was looking up this movie and I was looking up articles and reading about it, Steven Soderbergh, the 20th anniversary of this film was actually this December that just came up. He released a 4K remaster of it, did a bunch of interviews, because apparently this is a very popular underground film
Really?
that I'd never fucking heard
I
of
never
until
either
we watched
I
it.
never heard. I'm like, I want to find a movie that I'd never heard of and that looks interesting. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, we'll go with this one.
I think you definitely picked an interesting one. And the reason I bring up the interview, and it's my biggest complaint with the movie, is he did an interview with at the Lincoln Center. He did a screening, and there was like an interview afterwards. And one of his quotes from it was, "I can't believe we're still not editing it," talking about The Limey. And if you look at the Wikipedia article for The Limey, it specifically talks about this woman. I think her name was Laura Flack. I'm going to look it up so I'm not getting it wrong. It specifically mentions that, like, the editing for this movie was one of the most difficult things to get through. Sarah Flack. And on the Wikipedia, it says, film editor Sarah Flack utilizes a variety of unorthodox editing techniques in Limey. The film frequently features dialogue and background sound from previous or future scenes juxtaposed with a current scene. Dialogue from one conversation may find itself dispersed throughout the film, articulated for the first time long after its chronological moment has passed.
Yep.
So that's a fancy way of saying that stuff you hear and see in the movie may not correspond directly to what you're watching. It may pop up later.
Yeah.
And
It's fucking weird.
it's fucking weird. That's a great way to describe this movie. It wasn't bad. I didn't end this movie thinking
it was interesting,
I hated
if nothing else.
Yeah, I hate that there wasn't more violence in it, I guess. It was subdued, but I really wanted to see him beat the shit out of those guys and just shoot them, the ones in the when he goes to the fucking, like, the shipping area, the first area with the guy, like, he buys the gun and they beat the crap out of him, and then it's just that long shot of him just walking in and you hear the gunshots.
You see him kill those dudes off screen.
Yeah. And then he just screams, "Tell him I'm coming." But we keep mentioning him. The main character is played by Terrence Stamp, who has been in a bunch of stuff. One of the movies I almost picked was with Terrence Stamp. Most people might know him from Superman. He was General Zod in the first Superman, General Zod. He was Jor-El in Smallville, the TV series, which was kind of a neat throwback to that.
He's got a little bit of a Superman lineage.
He's also the Prophet of Truth in Halo 3. So
Okay,
yeah,
that's weird.
he's Chancellor Valorum in Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Just this man has been in movies going back a long time, but he's the main character. I'll let Zach try and explain the story since it was his movie, and then once he fails, I'll do a better job.
Once I fail, inevitably. Yeah, okay, so the Limey is about this. I guess he's Cockney. He had some Cockney shit in his dialogue, but
I like how you go right to Cockney.
he is Cockney, dude. He does the rhyming thing, which I can explain later because I'm looking at up Cockney shit for D&D character, but
Just say he's fucking British.
yeah, he Cockney. Yeah, he British guy. His daughter who lived in, it's set in L.A., right?
Yeah, it's Los
Yeah,
Angeles.
his daughter died, so he's just out of prison. He was like 10 years in prison. He hops on a plane to go find out why his daughter died. So he's kind of like hunting down.
He was sent a letter.
Yeah, he was sent
by
a
Louise
letter
by Louise Guzman's character in the movie, whose name I'm blanking on.
And
Yeah.
he's trying to find out why she died, what were the circumstances, and basically get revenge. This is like Taken before Taken, except for no one was taken. But
Yeah, someone was just murdered.
yeah,
It's
it's just
called
murder, so he's got to get his revenge instead of getting his daughter back. And you know, that's basically what happens. I mean, he's just trying out for revenge. Finds out her death is tied to fucking rich LA man. I don't know who played this guy other than his teeth are fucking.
Peter Fonda.
Was it Peter Fonda?
Yeah, that was fucking Peter Fonda.
Oh, shit. You know I'm bad with names.
Yeah, so
Fucking massive teeth. That's
just,
all I remember about
Just to summarize this real quick, Terrence Stamp, British criminal, gets a letter that his daughter may have been murdered, goes to the States after getting out of prison, teams up with Luis Guzman, who is phenomenal in any movie that he's in.
Truth.
I love Luis Guzman so much. Teams up with him to figure out what happened, and they slowly discover that Peter Fonda's character, who I think is a record producer, it's alluded to at some point that he works for a record company, that he may have been involved in some sort of backdoor drug business or whatever. And that his daughter, Jenny, I think was her name, discovered this, was going to report him to the police because it's alluded to that in her youth with her father that she has a strong sense of justice and was going to report him to the police. That felt a little flimsy to me. But nonetheless, that she was going to report him and that he had her murdered for this. Originally, they had it all set up under the guise that she had died in a car crash. And throughout the course of the film, you find out that, yeah, this dude basically had her murdered. And Terrence Stamp does exactly what Zach says, goes Liam Neeson on them.
Yep.
And it's really not until the end of the movie that you start getting into the nitty-gritty of all this stuff. But, yeah. And I had mentioned in the beginning that Nicky Katt had a particularly hilarious death in this. And I will try and explain this as best I can. So, we're watching this movie, and I'm wondering, as it's going on, where the fuck is Nicky Katt? Because, like, you don't see him until almost 50 minutes into the movie. And come to find out, he's, like, I guess a low-level hitman that one of these rich Hollywood guys tries to hire to kill Terrence Stamp. And he plays the same character from Boiler Room, only poorer and with a mustache.
That's accurate.
like my favorite scene of this movie
Before he got into to the fucking game, man. Before he started slinging crack rock.
He didn't get into day trading because he died like a motherfucker in this movie. My two favorite scenes in this movie, by the way, both involve Nicky Katt. The first one is the scene of him standing there with the other white guy when they're looking at the extras on the movie set, and he's just commenting on them for like 5 minutes. This scene goes on forever. It has nothing to do with the movie. It's just Nicky Katt standing there pointing at extras and like critiquing them, like, oh, I bet she's a single mother, and like making jokes about them. It holds no relevance to the film whatsoever, but I'm like, I could watch an hour and 30 minutes of this just dude standing here and it doing jump cuts between him making fun of people. And then the second scene, which is by far my favorite scene of the movie, is when he dies because, and this is so hard to convey if you didn't watch this movie. This movie has a lot of character involvement, all articulated under the importance of Terrence Stamp's character. And what I mean is, like, Terrence Stamp, the main character, you see the most of, but you see other scenes in the movie of other characters interacting, so that by the end of it, you kind of get a larger picture of what's going on. And the only times you see Nicky Katt, the first time is a pool hall where the guy comes in to hire him. It's a quick scene, like 5 minutes. And then the next time you see him is when the guy comes back to talk to him about the hit, and he's like, okay, this is what's going to happen. And he goes over and Nicky Katt starts talking to one of his associates, like, oh, we could just go take care of all these guys and just get the money, like, get our money this way. So they're planning to go and kill this guy and get some other money from the guy that was hiring him. The third time you see him is the aforementioned scene of making fun of people, which leads to absolutely nothing. But then the final time you see him in this movie, he's listed as a main actor, has only been on screen for maybe 12 minutes. At the very end of the movie, there's a shootout at this rich guy's, like, cliffside villa, where Terrence Stamp is there. He's going to get his vengeance. He's picking off this guy's guards he's got with him. You see a character run past the window and get shot. And, like, he gets shot by the Peter Fonda's associate.
Yeah. He's like security chief or whatever.
Yeah, so he shoots this shadow running by, runs out, and it's fucking Nicky Katt just dying on the ground. And the look on his face is just like, I got paid like 10 grand to basically do nothing in this movie. I thought that was so fucking funny, because he's supposed to be this main character, and he just gets ganked in the dark by a dude's head of security.
He's fucking... His IMDb page is this is one of the top movies he is known for, apparently. That's how I found it, because I was just going through the various people in Boiler Room. I'm like, okay, let's just see surface level what everyone's kind of known for. And I'm like, the Limey? The fuck is that?
Yeah. Right? Like I said, I didn't hate this movie.
No, I didn't think it was bad.
Yeah. So why don't you talk about it for a bit, just because I'll keep going on about Nicky Katt getting shot.
I thought this movie was interesting. Like, I didn't love it. I don't think I'll ever watch it again, but I think it's interesting what they did. Like, when I was messaging you about it, it was like they would have these two conversations. You'd have this singular conversation, and they would be hopping back and forth to two different locations. Sometimes the character's mouth will not be moving when that bit of dialogue is going. And sometimes it would. It is a fucking fever dream of editing some of these conversations. And that's the most memorable part to me.
So one thing I do want to mention real quick, since you brought up editing, because I didn't know this until I read the Wikipedia for it, and I think I've never seen another movie do this, is, so you know the flashback scenes where it's like him with his wife? I thought that was all edited. They used footage from a movie from 1967 that he was in. And
really?
Yeah, they used that as the crux of his past, which I thought was super fucking cool. It says, where I just had the article for it. Steven Soderbergh uses atypical flashback scenes and includes several scenes, largely without dialogue, from a much older Terrence Stamp movie, Ken Loach's 1967 directorial debut, Poor Cow. Soderbergh uses the scenes to create a hazy backstory to show Stamp's character as a young man, his criminal past, his relationship with Jenny's mother, and a childish Jenny disapproving attitude to his crooked lifestyle. So this movie is like a spiritual sequel to a movie that came out in 1967, which I just thought that was really cool.
Did you watch the post-credit thing when he's like playing the guitar?
No, I didn't even know there was a post-credit thing.
Yeah, there's a scene where he's just like playing the guitar, and he's like much younger. So I wonder if that's from that movie. That's fucking bizarre.
Yeah, probably is. So anyway, I don't know what I would rate this movie. It's hard. I want to say like 5 out of 10, but I feel like 5 is low, implying that I dislike it, but I didn't.
Yeah,
but 5 seems about right.
I'd say it'd be about 5 for me as well, because like I said, I don't think I'll ever watch it again, but it was a weird experience. It was
Yeah,
They did some
I'm
interesting
glad I
things.
added
Some
it.
worked, some didn't, but it fucking wasn't bad at all.
Yeah. I will end it by saying it's a movie that I'm glad I've added to my collection of things I've seen. It's one I'll probably never watch again.
Yeah, same.
Now, that being said, the most difficult part of this movie for me was picking the next film because Jesus fucking Christ, I have so many things I could work on. Leslie Ann Warren was in this movie. She played the acting teacher that I guess Terrence Stamp hooked up with for a little bit. She was in Clue. I was very tempted to pick Clue.
That's a good movie.
Because I love that movie, but I'm not going to go with that. I almost went with Terrence Stamp at first because he was in Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, which is a movie I've always wanted to watch. It's very tempting. So that movie is a maybe right now. We're not sure. There's Luis Guzman, who I've never seen Traffic. I almost went with that. There's Boogie Nights, which I love.
Boogie Nights,
and it would just be great to talk about Boogie Nights.
I got a friend in roller
in-
skates.
He's in The Count of Monte Cristo with Antonio Banderas from the early 2000s, which I always heard was great. Never saw that. Bill Duke. Do you know who Bill Duke is, Zach?
No.
Because once I tell you who he is, you're going to remember who Bill Duke was. Bill Duke was the DEA agent in this, the one who was talking to him in the office. And he was like, go with God or whatever. Bill Duke, Zach, was in Commando and Predator. And I'm like, do we go back to Arnie?
Do we?
Like, I was so
How
tempted
often
to
will
do
this
Predator.
podcast go back to Arnie?
I don't know. But, Zach, there are two movies. One is Luis Guzman, and one is Bill Duke that I'm fighting with right now, and I don't know which one to go
Is
with.
one of them waiting? Isn't Luis Guzman
No.
waiting?
No, I love Waiting. I've seen that movie so many times, it's ridiculous. I'm not going to do that one. Maybe down the road. But I wanted to pick something I've never seen.
That's what I
wanted
usually
to
try
pick
to go
something-
for.
Pick something different. I will tell you this. One of them involves Adam Sandler. The other one involves Nicolas Cage. So
Okay, that
my
both of those
question-
can go very wrong.
So my question for you, Zach, and I'm going to let you help me with this.
Okay.
Do you want to go Adam Sandler or do you want to go Nicolas Cage?
I'll be honest, I like Nick Cage way more than I like Adam
Mari,
Sandler.
vote. Do you want to go Adam Sandler or do you want to go Nicolas Cage?
Knowing what I know, Adam Sandler.
Okay, so we have one for Adam Sandler and one for Nicolas Cage. And you know what? I think I'm going to go with Adam Sandler.
Damn.
I was so torn. The other movie was going to be Mandy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I've seen Mandy, and I did not care for Mandy, so...
I have not seen Mandy, but what we are going to watch stars Luis Guzman and Adam Sandler. We're going to watch Punch Drunk Love.
I've never seen that.
Neither have I, and I've heard it's great. Like, I was looking through the movies, I'm like, there's so much to pick from here. Oh, I've heard people talk about this for years. I should probably do this. So yeah, our next movie is going to be Punch Drunk Love.
Is Adam Sandler going to play Adam Sandler, I wonder? Because that's the
No,
one character
I've
he
heard
seems
in
can
this-
play.
No, like, this is, I think, the first movie that Adam Sandler did that was serious, where he didn't play traditional Adam Sandler.
Huh.
So,
I'm-
yeah, we're going to watch that.
I'm glad
Pretty
you
excited.
didn't go with Mandy, because I've seen Mandy, and I like exactly half of Mandy.
I really wanted to see it, and I was torn between it, because part of me was like, maybe we could do it as part of, like, I really want to do, like, a Halloween run-up, where we try and watch, like, a horror movie every week.
That would be fun.
But anyway, yeah, that seems like a good place to end it here.
Yeah,
We're almost at
Punch
exactly an
Drunk Love.
hour and a half.
Cool.
So we have a minute and a half before we get to an hour and a half. So we're gonna go ahead and end this one here. Pretty good episode. I hope you guys have a good one. We'll see you in the next one. Zach, do your thing.
Take it easy, and good night.
Mari, do your thing.
Bye.
We'll see you guys in the next one.
Later.